Tom Moore here from Levi Stadium, where we are literally 24 hours away from the Vikings divisional playoff matchup with the 49ers. Heavily favored 49er team. And here are some of the things that we think the Vikings are going to have to do to be successful in San Francisco, much like they were with the Saints. Now, interestingly enough, when we saw this playoff series begin, we thought the Saints were probably the hardest matchup for the Vikings to go against, whereas the 49ers were the closest matchup. These are like mirror image teams. They're the rare two teams that run as much as they pass. And for the Vikings, here's what it's going to mean. They need to establish that run, and they're going to have to count on the right side of their line. That's where they've had their success most of the year. It's where they had their success against the Saints, particularly looking at Brian O'Neill and Josh Klein. They've been solid, and they run that zone blocking scheme really well. Their key is going to be whether they can take care of Nick Bosa. If they can, and the Vikings can establish that run to where they're getting 4 yards, 5 yards a pop, it's going to make play action extremely successful for Kirk Cousins, and that's where he makes his money, where he's thrown 13 touchdowns on play action passes. Now, from the rest of the offense, what you're going to have to see is Kirk Cousins not let the nerves get to him. He's got to spread the ball around and make sure that he gets it to Stephon Diggs early and often, because these 49ers cover man-to-man. That means you're going to get plenty of opportunities for your receivers to get open, so Diggs is going to have to beat probably Richard Sherman to see if he can get open. It's still to be seen what kind of condition Adam Thielen is in. Clearly he's going to play tomorrow, but again, anytime you have a foot injury that requires stitches a few days before the game, you never know what that's going to look like on game day. When we look at the opposite side of the field, a couple things need to happen. The 49ers, like the Vikings, like to run. So the run defense has got to be strong, not like it was against Chicago early in the season, nor against Seattle, to where they were giving up 6-7 yards a pop and leaving the 49ers with 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3 opportunities. And then the linebackers, they're going to have to play very well in coverage with Greg Kittle there at tight end. So look for both the linebackers, Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr, Eric Wilson, as well as the safeties, probably Andrew Zendejo coming in here, trying to clean up to make sure that the running backs, and specifically Greg Kittle, don't go to town on that Viking defense. The record may be better for the 49ers, but these are very evenly matched teams. So again, we're about 24 hours before game time between the Minnesota Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers, and much like we had in 2017, it's not bring it home, it's go get it for the Minnesota Vikings.